There is one 5-word question you should never ask a woman if you want her to sleep with you, become your girlfriend, or see you as anything more than just a friend. Do you know what the question is? As men, it sounds totally innocent to us, but when a woman hears this 5-word question escape your lips, she can't help but feel disappointed and even repulsed, even if she really liked you before you asked it. If a girl has ever ignored your texts or told you, let's just be friends, when it seemed like she was into you before, you may have asked her this one question without even realizing it. In just a moment, I'm going to tell you what this repulsive 5-word question is. And if you've ever had a woman pull away from you or even ghost you when you thought she was interested at first, then you know how frustrating and defeating it feels to get jerked around like that. And I'm sure you'd love to know what you're doing wrong, but you can never find out what you're doing wrong because she never gets back to you. Maybe you've tried asking women more questions and taking the lead, or working on your game and trying to improve your confidence, only to go through the same old cycle of getting your hopes up and then pulling out your hair in frustration when she sends you one-word texts, loses interest, and disappears. And maybe you've noticed yourself deleting and re-downloading the same 2 or 3 dating apps every week, or eating dinner alone more often than you'd like, watching beautiful women pass you by on the street without so much as a second glance, and losing faith you'll ever meet someone. Whatever the case may be, don't give up just yet. There is one specific reason you're going through this. It's got nothing to do with confidence, game, or conversation skills, and it's the reason everything you've tried so far has failed, until now. See, in the past year, I had a major breakthrough in my dating and sex life that allowed me to flip the script on this broken, sad way of dating and make astonishingly attractive women fall all over themselves to impress me, turn me on, and chase me for a date like I was a famous celebrity, even though I'm 5'7", painfully shy, and completely average looking, and I've put together this special presentation to finally share it with any guy who's tired of putting himself out there and getting ghosted and ignored, and wants to finally experience what it feels like when girls chase you for a change. My name is Andrew Ryan. I'm an Amazon best-selling author, body language expert, and dating consultant for over 100,000 men around the world. And in this video, I'm going to show you a simple scientific secret that can turn a woman on and make her chase you and even obsess over you while thinking it's 100% her idea. So instead of fizzling out and losing her after a few messages or a few days, now she's texting you nonstop and asking if you're free for a date tonight, or if she can come over and watch a movie in bed with you. And instead of boring, logical conversations that go nowhere but the friend zone, now she's hitting on you, touching you, and making it painfully obvious she wants to sleep with you. In fact, when you follow my instructions to the letter, many girls will even make a move on you first, all thanks to this scientific secret I'm revealing in the next 10 minutes, which thousands of men around the world are calling the Bachelor effect, because of how fast it gets women competing for a chance to date you and sleep with you, just like on the TV show The Bachelor. Now, before we go any further, I do want to be very upfront with you. This is not a rehash of anything you've heard before, and it's not about being a good listener or using corny lines. You're about to discover the real psychology of sexual attraction that no one's ever told you before, and how to use it in normal, everyday conversation to have that girl you've been thinking about start to think about you. And you shouldn't be shocked when she starts texting you nonstop, making it crystal clear how she feels about you, and making a genuine effort to talk to you, get to know you, and get you into bed. I would have paid $1 million to know this secret a few years ago. Before I knew this, I was sexually invisible to women. My tall and handsome friends always used to tell me, bro, it's easy, just make eye contact and say hi. Yeah, well, it's kind of hard to make eye contact when women don't even notice you exist. Whenever I talked to a pretty girl, it always felt like she wanted to leave. Some girls were polite, but clearly only saw me as a friend. Others acted bitchy as soon as I said hi, and I would have done anything to make just one of those girls see me as a guy they wanted to sleep with instead of a friend they felt sorry for or a creep they wanted to get away from. But what was I supposed to do, act like a jerk? I was raised to respect women and never make them feel uncomfortable. Well, sadly, I didn't actually learn how to make women feel anything at all. And so, while other guys were going on dates, getting laid, and falling in love, I was staying home and burying my head in work, video games, Netflix, beer, weed, Pornhub, anything to distract myself from the aching black hole of loneliness in my chest growing bigger and bigger every day. Then I met Paige. She was gorgeous and kind, and she didn't play games. After our first date, she texted me, "I can't wait to see you again," and I fell asleep grinning from ear to ear with my phone on the pillow next to me. For about a week, she texted me 20 times a day, and every time I felt my phone vibrate in my pocket, I would smile just a little bit wider and let my guard down a little bit more because it felt so good to have a girl actually make an effort like that. To have her treat me like a priority instead of just an option, you know what I mean? I honestly thought she was different. But then the same old thing happened again, and I can't wait to see you turned into maybe next week, and suddenly I was the only one making an effort anymore. And I felt like a creep for texting her 2 or 3 times in a row and getting no response. The last text I sent her was just 5 words. When can I see you? She never replied, and she didn't have to, because I saw her Facebook post and the picture with her arms wrapped around some other guy, and I knew I wouldn't be seeing her ever again. That night I took a long, hard look at myself in the mirror. Why did this always happen to me? What was I missing? Why was I always chasing women, and why were they always running away from me? And the more I thought about that, the more I got angry. Not angry at women. I could never be that guy. Angry at myself. Where was my self-respect? Whatever happened to the guy I was at 25? The hopeful, adventurous guy who faced every challenge with a grin? Whatever happened to my balls? Laying in bed that night, alone again, just like always, I knew it was time for me to make a choice. I could choose to be bitter, or I could choose to be better. Better than mindlessly swiping through dating apps and staring at beautiful girls I could never have. Better than eating dinner alone and zoning out to Netflix every night as the weeks, months, and years slowly slipped away from me. Better than chasing after women, doing all the work, giving all my power away. Enough was enough. I didn't know how, but I was going to flip the script on this broken, sad way of dating and do whatever it took to get girls chasing me for a change. So I bought some new clothes. I joined a gym. I read No More Mr. Nice Guy and The Game. In fact, I read every men's magazine and watched every YouTube video I could find. I even tried the 5 love languages and asked the universe to magically manifest a girl into my life, and still, nothing worked. Then one night, when I was least expecting it, the answer came walking right up to me in the form of 3 smoking hot college girls in tank tops and booty shorts. "You're cute," said the blonde. "Can my friends have a turn with you too?" I grinned. Could it really be this easy? I stood there by the bar as 3 of the hottest girls I've ever seen fought for my attention, rubbed their hands all over me, and did everything in their power to impress me, turn me on, and practically force me to take their phone numbers, and they loved every second of it. Here's what happened. I was out drinking with my friends and wearing a plain white t-shirt, and after about 6 beers, my friends thought it would be funny to get a marker and start drawing all over it. You know, typical guy stuff, penises and boobs and I love cock. Well, soon enough, a random drunk girl came over and wrote something on my shirt too. And you know what she wrote? Her name and phone number. She was pretty drunk, so I didn't take it too seriously, but a few minutes later, I felt a tap on my shoulder. It was a different girl, a cute brunette I noticed earlier in the night. She wanted to write her name and number on me too. Then 3 gorgeous college girls came over. "You're cute," said the blonde. "Can we have a turn too?" I stood there smiling like a kid in a candy shop while these smoking hot girls put their hands all over me and eagerly wrote down their names and numbers. Now, you might think this was nothing but a silly gimmick, and I thought so too, but here's where it gets really interesting. Every one of these girls stuck around to chat with me for hours, and all I did was stand there making normal conversation. You know, what do you do for work type of stuff. The kind of conversation that everyone says is boring and unattractive, and yet they loved me. They flirted with me, they laughed at my corny jokes, they asked me tons of questions and genuinely tried to get to know me. They even interrupted each other to grab my attention, competing with their best friends just to look a little more attractive in my eyes, like I was a prize they were trying to win, even though I wasn't doing anything, just standing there and being myself. Are you starting to see the real reason these girls liked me so much? I remember when it finally clicked for me. It was like a veil had been lifted from my eyes and I could finally see the code behind the matrix. These women didn't care that I wasn't 6 feet tall, alpha, or making them laugh, and they didn't care about any of the other guys trying to hit on them either. They only cared about one thing. Other girls seemed to like me, so they liked me too. Instantly, automatically, without even thinking about it. It was never really about me at all. It was about the female competition for me. I went home that night with one burning question on my mind. How can I make this happen again? How can I make girls chase me instantly and automatically anytime I wanted? I already knew about social proof, how women care a lot about other women's opinions, and people always used to tell me that women want what they can't have, but how could this help me, a normal, average guy with no prospects? I was worried this might be another dead end, but then I found an article from famous neuroscientist John Maynor revealing that jealousy is a powerful aphrodisiac proven to elevate female sex hormones. He went on to reveal that what I witnessed in the bar that night was no fluke. It's a proven scientific fact. 97% of women are turned on by jealousy and female competition. It's a biological instinct programmed by millions of years of evolution. When you make her jealous, her brain practically forces her to chase you. Pretty crazy, right? Now, I know that might sound kind of far-fetched, but guess what? You've actually seen this before, all the time. You just didn't know what you were looking at. Let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed how women always treat you better when you're with other women? You could be invisible by yourself, but the moment you get a girlfriend, a wife, or even a female friend or a coworker, other girls instantly notice you and like you more, and there's a scientific reason why that happens. See, women love sex just as much as men do, but they also need to avoid sleeping with the wrong man, so the female brain evolved this weird mental shortcut to always chase the men that other women were chasing. That way, there was less risk that she would choose the wrong man because other women already decided he was a good mate, and she could just copy the same mate choice. Neuroscientists call this mate choice copying, but I like to call it the Bachelor effect because it explains why women love dating competition shows like The Bachelor. You know, where 20 women all compete for one man. Did you know there's a multi-million-dollar formula behind that show? A formula that taps into the natural female desire for competition and jealousy. It's no wonder it's had 24 seasons and 5.1 million women watch it every week. They just keep running the same winning formula with the same proven psychology I just told you about, and women can't help but go crazy for it every single time. Well, once I realized that, I started watching every episode of that show and taking notes. I wanted to see if I could decode this formula and apply it to my dating life, and the more I watched, the more I could see the patterns. The guys on these shows would always say the same things at the same stages in conversation, and when they did, the woman's eyes would get wide and she would start desperately trying to sleep with the guy every single time. I took pages of notes and wrote down dozens of examples. Then I dove into the psychology behind these shows to discover why women are so hooked on female competition and how I could create the same effect in normal everyday conversation. A week passed, then 2. By the end of that month, I had a list of techniques as long as my arm, only the simplest behaviors, words, or questions I could use in my conversations with a woman to trigger the Bachelor effect, make her chase me, and keep her chasing me, from hello all the way to the bedroom. I felt kind of corny at first, but what did I have to lose? If this psychology could drive millions of women crazy, the least it could do is get a girl to text me back. Maybe a girl like Paige. So that's what I used it for. I texted her a simple 3-word question I learned from my research, and wouldn't you know it, she texted back right away, apologized for never getting back to me, and agreed to meet me for a date. Then we met for drinks, and I started feeling super shy, and I could see her getting bored, looking at her phone, and losing interest in me, so I went to the bathroom and I looked at my notes. Then I came back, sat down, and casually dropped this innocent 7-word phrase, the girlfriend phrase I learned. My pulse raced for a moment, but I knew it worked when she put her phone away, her eyes got wide, and she stared at me like a groupie stares at her favorite rock star. It was like a switch had been flipped, and all of a sudden, she was the one acting shy. She was the one trying to impress me, asking me questions about myself, trying to make me laugh, inching closer and closer so she could touch me. From that point on, it was like I could do nothing wrong. I kept nudging the conversation along with a few tiny tricks and techniques I'd created, and she kept moving closer and closer, rubbing her hands on my leg, rocking her hips against mine. She bit her lip and stared down at my crotch, and my heart started pounding, terrified I might say something awkward. And then she made the move on me. She leaned in and suddenly her lips were on mine, her tongue was sliding into my mouth, then she was pulling me into a cab with a naughty grin on her face. And it only took 30 seconds inside her apartment before she was undoing my belt buckle and I was sliding her panties to the floor. That night she gave herself to me completely, begging me to choke her, grinning while I spanked her, moaning as I pulled her hair and lovingly pushed her face into the pillow, screaming my name and calling me daddy as I took her and ravished her over and over again. The next morning, after a couple more rounds in bed and some much-needed coffee, she confessed to me, "I hope you don't think I'm a slut. I never do this, but I'm so glad it happened with you." Well, that's something I would soon be hearing from women all the time because the Bachelor effect was real, and it kept working over and over again. See, after I slept with Paige, I realized how insecure and clingy I had been in the past, and I decided to stay single and date lots of other women until I knew that I had erased every last bit of neediness from my behavior. And you know what? The more I acted like I had an abundance of women in my life, the more it actually started to happen. It really is true. When women think there's competition for you, they will chase you. For the next 6 months, I went on a rampage that would have made Hugh Hefner jealous, perfecting my methods and sleeping with over 42 incredible women. I guess you could say I was making up for lost time. But even better, the Bachelor effect started working for other guys too. See, at first I had no plans to share the secret with anyone else, but then I had lunch with my friend Chris, and he told me about a girl who suddenly stopped texting him back out of nowhere. So I wrote up a short cheat sheet with some of my best techniques, and I gave it to him. 3 days later, he texted me this. A week ago, she wouldn't return my texts. Now she's sending me sexy pics of her in the shower and asking when I'm going to come and join her. Thank you. And it would have ended there, but then Chris passed the cheat sheet along to a coworker of his named Brian. Brian had it even worse. His ex had dumped him over a year ago, and he hadn't been laid since. That same week, he went out to a strip club and had this beautiful Asian dancer practically forcing her number into his phone and begging to go home with him. And then I guess the word got out. And the secret got shared around our circle of friends. And again they raved about the Bachelor effect, how it was like flipping a switch in a woman's mind from turned off to turned on, how conversations just opened up once they learned these simple techniques. I think Matt said it best. I thought the girls chasing guys thing was a myth. Wow, girls will chase you if they like you. I have never gotten those types of texts before. A bunch of, what are you doing tonight? Kiss emojis. Wow, you're really cute. One girl even tried to kiss me first. Dude, there's a whole other world being lived out here. Yes, there is a whole other world being lived out here, and I started to feel a sense of duty to help other guys who were struggling just like I was. So we spent months taking all of my research and experience and turning it into one simple, easy-to-follow manual. A manual we ended up calling Make Girls Chase You because, well, that's what it's done, again and again. Helped regular, ordinary guys who don't have the time or desire to be pickup artists to get beautiful women chasing them in a shockingly short amount of time, which brings us to now, and brings us to you experiencing these mind-blowing results for yourself. Make Girls Chase You is the result of over a year of non-stop, hands-on research, field testing, and hard work. Hard work I already did for you. And before I could share my weird but ethical secrets for getting hot girls chasing you, I knew the manual would have to accomplish 3 things. First, it had to tell you the truth about dating and sex that's been hidden from you by the media, your parents, your peers, anyone who ever lied to you, intentionally or not, about what women really want. Second, it had to be easy, as done for you as possible, so you never have to feel anxious about what to say, what the next step is, or if you're doing it right. And third, it had to work fast, so any guy could take this material and use it right away to achieve the same stunning results you've seen here today in just 5 to 10 minutes of talking to a girl, even if it's been years since you got laid and you've got zero confidence right now. Like I said, I set the bar pretty high for this, and after months and months of work, I'm finally ready to release my Make Girls Chase You program to a small number of men. So, if you're watching this video, it means you're part of the test. It means you have a chance to learn the exact words, phrases, and questions that will make her chase you, and to finally take back the power and control in your dating life for good. But only if you promise me right now to erase every bit of crap you ever learned from pickup artists, men's magazines, and romantic movies, to listen with an open mind and actually try what you learn, and to use this power for good, to make women incredibly happy and grateful they met you, and to always leave girls better than you found them. If you can agree to that, then the next 5 minutes will be the most eye-opening, transformational experience of your entire life. But if you can't agree to my terms, well, thank you for watching, but this is the end of the road for you. Please close this page so the next guy in line can have your spot. Still here? All right, then let me show you exactly what you're getting. First, you'll discover 7 innocent words that make girls chase you. I call this the girlfriend phrase because it taps into a woman's natural desire for a committed romantic relationship and links that desire to you. Guys rave about this. It's actually the #1 reason they join the program, and that's before I give you the master list of 10 techniques that trigger the Bachelor effect, using the shocking psychology of jealousy and female competition. This is why women always chase the guys they think other women want, and now they're going to be chasing you. Next, you'll discover the 5-word question you should never ask a woman if you want her to sleep with you, become your girlfriend, or see you as anything more than just a friend. Now, I did tell you this question in my story earlier, but I didn't tell you why it turns girls off so quickly and why it's so important you never ask her this, especially in the first few days of talking to her. Next, you'll get the magic F word that makes a girl 3 times more likely to chase you. Just drop this in conversation with a girl you're interested in and watch how quickly she starts flirting with you and trying to turn you on. Tired of asking question after question and feeling like you're doing all the work? Ask her the qualifying question to get her to open up and actually invest in the conversation with you. It's crazy to me that more guys don't know about this. The difference is night and day. It's also crazy guys don't know about the truth about age gaps. If you're in your 40s, 50s, or even 60s, you might like to know that 1 out of 3 women aged 21 to 35 secretly fantasize about sleeping with a man your age. Plus, I'll show you how to spot one of these girls and make it easy for her to get close to you. Do women really want guys with money? Not exactly. You'll discover how your financial status relates to confidence and sexual attraction, and how any guy can create raw, primal sexual attraction that goes far deeper inside of her than money, height, age, or any other material concern you might be worried about. Next, I'll teach you the attraction test. This simple and innocent eye contact trick lets you know if a girl really likes you or if she's just playing games, so you'll be able to read her eyes while you're talking to her and know exactly where you stand with her. Avoid girls who do this. It's a trap. Even if she seems innocent, even if you think she's into you, even if you think you have a shot, if she's doing this, I guarantee you she's only going to waste your time and use you for attention, validation, and free dinners and drinks. Nonverbal pickup lines. Did you know that sexual attraction is 80% nonverbal? I'll show you a powerful body language technique that gets a woman to notice you right away, even if you're in a crowd, and be at least 4 times more receptive to you. Some women will even walk up and start talking to you first. You're also going to get a checklist called the 40 Attraction Killers. These are the most common everyday behaviors that make you look needy and unattractive, even if you thought you were playing it cool. And all you have to do is find your 1 to 2 biggest mistakes on this list, cross them off, and you'll change the way women see you forever. Next, you'll finally discover the truth about the friend zone, what just friends really means, and how to subtly start to change a woman's opinion of you. And what girls really want from you. This is something she could never tell you because she's been taught her whole life that what she wants is wrong, and you'll judge her if you learn the truth. And this one is perfect for the guys who lack confidence. One simple daily ritual to conquer the fear of rejection, obliterate neediness, and create unbelievable self-confidence. Women will notice you more, guys will see you as a leader, and you will love the guy you see in the mirror every day. And that's just a tiny taste of the game-changing techniques, truths about women, and incredible results you'll get almost automatically on your way to becoming the most attractive and sexually confident version of yourself, without ever being fake, people-pleasing, or pretending to be someone you're not. Okay, can you feel that? Your heart beating? The dryness in your mouth? The incredible desire to know this? To be able to do this? To have this power? To have control with women in a way you never have before? Let me ask you, how much is it worth to you to never have to feel rejection again for the rest of your life? How much is it worth to be able to relax and be yourself around a woman without fear that she's going to lose interest and swipe you out of existence tomorrow? How much is it worth to wake up next to a beautiful girl who likes you for you every morning if you like? How much is it worth to have her pick up the damn phone and actually text you back at a reasonable time because you are her number one priority? I want you to really think about that for a second. Really let yourself feel what it would be like, and then ask yourself, what do you think would be a fair price to make girls chase you anytime you want? Hundreds? Thousands? Honestly, can you even put a price on it?